Casey's Audio Vault.
Les Claypool from Primus.
June 4th, 2009. Les, how has this tour been going?
So far, so good, and it's good to be able to say that in these economic times.
How many basses do you bring on tour with you?
Let's think about that for a sec. 2 4-strings, a 6-string, an upright, banjo bass, dobro bass, 5 basses, I think.
Okay, so that's not
and
quite.
And the whamola, you can't discount the whamola.
What is the whamola?
The whamola is a 1-string mutation. It's a hunk of steel with 1 string on it and a hinged handle, and I beat it with a stick, and very interesting, surreal, guttural sounds come out of it.
How many do you have at home?
I have no idea. I mean, I'm not like a big bass collector or anything. I just pack-ratted some over the years, but I don't really have a big, extensive collection or anything.
I figured if you brought at least 5 on the road, you may have a gigantic arsenal back at home.
Did you just call me a gigantic arsenal? No, not really. I mean, I kind of just bring out what I need to bring out. There's some interesting instrumentation on this new record that requires a few different odd instruments that I pull out of my hat. So
you have a big hat as well?
I do have a big hat.
The new solo record, is that what you have been spending all your brain energy on lately, or have you had a time to do any movie stuff or fishing or video game music or anything lately?
Well, a portion of this music from this record is based on some soundtrack stuff I did, but right now I'm in the middle of the longest tour I've done in 10 years, which is 2 months straight. So that's encompassing quite a bit of my time. But we've got a couple of movie projects we're trying to get off the ground, and we're trying to work on this pilot for this animated series, and I'm trying to finish up a book. So there's lots of pots on the stove. It just depends on which one makes it to the front burner,
What's the TV pilot?
We've been working with Shadow Machine, who do Robot Chicken and Moral Oral and a few other shows, on a pilot based on a film I did called Electric Apricot: Quest for Festeroo.
Like the jam band?
Yes, it is the mockumentary about the struggling jam band.
Now, people are probably wondering if we're going to hear any of the old stuff from Les Claypool, any of the tunes from Primus on the show coming up?
I've been doing this, my own stuff now for over 10 years now, and I've been avoiding the Primus material. But this last tour, I have been slipping an occasional little nugget in here and there, so it's becoming more likely that you might hear some old, obscure nugget from those days.
To say you're prolific is kind of understating. You've had so many projects over the years. Is it difficult to sit down and write out a set list, or do you want to get the new stuff out there right off the top?
The new stuff gets played because it's exciting to play new material or play material you haven't played over and over again. For the most part, the set changes every night, and it's somewhat based upon the mood of the guys in the band and myself and the crowd and the environment and when we're playing and where we're playing. And so it changes every night. It's not terribly difficult. The difficult parts, I do a cartoon on every set list, and so sometimes that takes up more time than actually figuring out the set list.
You draw it on the back of the set list?
Yeah, I've always done that. I've done that since way back with Primus. I always draw a little animation, little one-panel cartoon on the set list. It's out of habit more than anything, but it usually surmises something that happened during the day or over the past couple days or something.
So do you have an archive of all of these?
I do have an archive of all these. I think you can see a bunch of them on my website. And, it's chock full of inside jokes, so most people look at it and go, what the hell is that?
Well, they probably think you're a little weird then.
Potentially.
I would think at this point in your career, you're not too worried about outsiders thinking you're just a little bit weird.
I never really worried about that in general throughout my existence on the planet. I tended to be that guy that was always looking for something different and unique. So whether it was music or film or literature or art or even clothing and haircuts, to me, what is considered normal is kind of weirds me out.
What kind of stuff do you listen to on the off days? Because it seems like you got maybe a little Captain Beefheart in there, some Zappa. Like, where do you draw some of the, if you will, weird inspiration?
Well, there's been a lot of stuff I've listened to throughout the years. I actually have been going through a bit of a Beefheart phase again of late. I never really went down the Zappa path too far. I always appreciated it and Larry Lalonde from Primus was a big Zappa fan. In fact, we played with Dweezil's band for New Year's this last year. The Zappa played our big New Year's show, and that was great. But the Residents, Laurie Anderson, Old Gabriel, Public Image, things like that.
Thanks so much for coming on the Rock Report. We're very much looking forward to this show this evening at the Burton Cummings Theater. Ladies and gentlemen, Les Claypool.
Yes, it'll be a wing-ding.
All the interviews you want on iTunes and at Power97.com. Casey's Audio Vault.
Casey Norman is Power 97's music director and can be heard every weekday from 2 till 6 in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Power 97 is Winnipeg's best rock.